Hello everyone. A long-awaited video about Japanese women. During my roughly 5 years living in Japan, I've analyzed my observations and identified 10 common types of Japanese women. There are actually more than 10, but I've highlighted the most frequently encountered types you'll almost certainly meet while in Japan. I'll also discuss a type of Japanese woman to avoid for your own safety. First, the most common type. You'll encounter this type on your very first day in Japan. This type is called the burēko, Japanese women who portray themselves as naive and silly. They're easily identifiable by their speech patterns. They speak in a way that sounds something like. This type is extremely popular, heavily featured in manga and hentai. These women purposefully alter their voices to sound cute, and they're very good at it. This contributes to the worldwide perception of Japanese women as incredibly cute. This apparent simplicity is endearing, but consider this. Are you prepared to be in a relationship with a woman whose behavior is artificial and insincere? If you don't mind, then fine. But why does this burēko type exist? It's simple. It was created by men, specifically anime and manga creators. In their works, they created idealized female characters, the epitome of male fantasies, characters that don't exist in reality. Then, real Japanese women realized men found this appealing and adopted the persona to become more desirable. Burēko women are often pursuing specific goals and are not always forthcoming about their intentions, so caution is advised. Many Japanese men I asked about their preferences stated they preferred naive and seemingly unintelligent women. Japan doesn't have as many appreciators of highly intelligent women as some other cultures. The tsundere archetype, often portrayed as initially cold but secretly caring, is frequently parroted in Japanese media. What about you? Do you prefer intelligent or less intelligent women? Share your thoughts in the comments. The second type is the sōdōkei woman. These women embody politeness, honesty, innocence, gentleness, and sincerity. A prime example is, they tend to be quite conservative in their appearance, sticking to their natural hair color and minimal makeup, emphasizing natural beauty. From the perspective of many Japanese men, this type represents an ideal balance. What other Japanese actresses fit this type? Let me know in the comments. The third type, the perpetually busy woman. If a Japanese woman is studying at university, she's completely immersed in her studies. After graduation, her focus shifts entirely to her career. Relationships are far from a priority. This is easily identifiable. When scheduling future meetings, they'll frantically consult their large weekly planners, often citing availability weeks or even months out. They are genuinely busy, their schedules meticulously planned down to the hour. Maintaining relationships with these women can be challenging, especially in major Japanese cities where this type is increasingly common. Would you date such a woman? Share your experiences in the comments. The fourth type, Japanese women intensely interested in a particular foreign culture, fully immersing themselves in it. They adopt the clothing, makeup, and cuisine of that culture. A good example is Japanese women fascinated by Korean culture. This is comparable to Russian women interested in K-pop and Korean culture generally. These women often have lived abroad, worked or studied in another country, and then returned to Japan. Their mindset noticeably differs from traditional Japanese women. They think and communicate in ways more reminiscent of foreigners. This is particularly evident in areas like Shibuya and Roppongi, popular nightlife districts in Japan. There, you might encounter Japanese women who emulate Latin American styles in their clothing, makeup, and behavior, reflecting the current popularity of Latin American culture in Japan, including the increased study of Spanish and prevalence of Mexican-themed clubs and music. Similarly, those who have lived in Australia or America often exhibit less typical Japanese behavior. Do you find this type appealing? The fifth type is the gaijin hunter. With this type, extreme caution is necessary. These women actively seek out foreigners, often for the sole purpose of improving their English skills, effectively using foreigners as free language tutors. There are websites and events designed to facilitate such interactions, often in cafes or bars where cultural and linguistic exchange is supposed to occur. However, the conversation typically remains primarily in English, as the Japanese participants are primarily focused on language practice. Sometimes, their motivation is simply curiosity about different cultures and people, essentially treating foreigners as a form of entertainment. Some aim for relationships with foreigners, often for the sake of showing off their foreign partner. Others, introverted and lacking social connections with Japanese peers, seek out foreigners perceived as more open and sociable. Regardless of the underlying motivation, gaijin hunters will often interact with multiple foreigners simultaneously. Would you date a gaijin hunter? Be honest in the comments. I've discussed more explicit aspects of this topic in a previous video. This video covered 5 types. If this part reaches 3,000 likes, I will release a second part detailing the remaining 5 types. I also conducted a survey comparing the attitudes of Korean, Russian, and Japanese women regarding who should pay on a first date. The responses were enlightening.